I waved at my neighbor's kid. His mom called the cops and said I was targeting minors. The officer's response surprised us both. I was watering my tomatoes when it happened. Saturday morning, sun was out. Birds were chirping. I just moved into the neighborhood 3 weeks ago and was finally starting to feel like I belonged. The kid next door was playing in his front yard. Couldn't have been older than 7. He had a basketball that was way too big for him, and every time he tried to dribble, it would bounce off his foot and roll into the street. I watched him chase it for the 4th time. He looked up, saw me watching, and waved. So I waved back. That's it. That's the whole crime. His mom came flying out of the house like I'd just set their lawn on fire. She grabbed the kid by the arm and yanked him behind her. What do you think you're doing? I looked around to see if she was talking to someone else. She wasn't. I'm sorry? Don't play dumb with me. I saw you looking at my son. He waved at me. I waved back. That's not what I saw. She was already on her phone, already dialing. I stood there with my garden hose like an idiot, water pooling around my feet because I forgot to turn it off. Yes, I need police. There's a man outside my house. He's been watching my son. I think he's targeting minors in the neighborhood. I genuinely couldn't process what was happening. I'd lived in apartments my whole adult life, saved for 6 years to buy this place. 3 weeks in, and I was being accused of being a predator over a wave. 15 minutes later, a squad car pulled up. By then, half the neighborhood was watching from their porches. Karen, because that's what I'm calling her now, had positioned herself between me and her house like she was guarding the president. The officer stepped out, older guy, maybe mid-50s. He had the look of someone who'd seen everything and was tired of all of it. Afternoon, got a call about suspicious activity? Karen jumped in before I could speak. Officer, this man has been stalking my son. He stands outside and watches him play. Today he tried to make contact. He waved at him in broad daylight. The officer looked at me, then at the garden hose still running in my hand, then back at Karen. Ma'am, did you say he waved? Yes, at my child. The officer pulled out his notepad, clicked his pen. And where were you when this happened? I was inside. I saw the whole thing through the window. So your son was outside, alone, and this man was in his own yard? Karen hesitated. Well, yes, but he was watching. The officer nodded slowly. He turned to me. Sir, is that your house? Yes, sir. Moved in 3 weeks ago. And you were watering your... He squinted at my sad little garden. Tomatoes? Trying to. They're not doing great. He almost smiled. Almost. Then he turned back to Karen. Ma'am, you said he tried to make contact. Did he approach your son? Walk toward your property? Say anything inappropriate? He waved. Right, the wave. The officer wrote something down. I couldn't tell what. And your son's response? Karen paused. What? When this man waved at your son, what did your son do? She didn't answer. The officer looked at the kid, who was peeking out from behind his mom with the basketball still in his hands. Hey, buddy, can you tell me what happened? The kid looked up at his mom, then at the officer. I waved at him first. He was watering his plants. I thought he was nice. Dead silence. The officer closed his notepad. Ma'am, I'm going to be direct with you. You called 911 to report a man for waving back at your son in his own yard while doing yard work in broad daylight. Karen's face went red. You don't understand. You can never be too careful these days. Men are always... Ma'am, the officer cut her off. I've been on this force for 27 years. I've seen actual predators. I've worked cases that still keep me up at night. And I can tell you with absolute certainty that none of them started with a man watering tomatoes and waving at a kid who waved first. He turned to me. Sir, I apologize for the inconvenience. You're free to continue your gardening. Karen looked like she'd been slapped. That's it? You're not even going to question him? Run his background? Something? The officer stopped walking, turned around slowly. Ma'am, what I'm going to do is document this call. And if you make another frivolous 911 report, we're going to have a very different conversation about wasting emergency resources. He looked at her for a long moment. Your son seems like a good kid. Maybe let him wave at the neighbors. He got in his car and left. Karen stood there frozen. The other neighbors were still watching. One of them, an older woman across the street, started clapping slowly. Then someone else joined. Then someone else. Karen grabbed her son and stormed inside. Slammed the door so hard I heard something fall off a wall. The kid looked back at me through the window. He waved again. I waved back. That was 6 months ago. Karen still hasn't spoken to me. She crosses the street when she sees me coming. Checks her mail at weird hours to avoid me. But her son waves at me every single day now. Sometimes twice. And every single time I wave back just to watch her twitch through the blinds.